Annuals. Yes. No one wants to do annual. So I'm here to talk about ceramic coating annuals. We've had a lot of questions about them. A lot of people don't understand why we do them. They think it's kind of a way to get the car back in the shop or for us to make a quick buck. None of those things are really true. We would prefer your car didn't have to come back to the shop. We don't really make a lot of money on annuals. We have really highly skilled employees that we have do them. So it's a necessary thing, and that's why we do them. So I want to talk about that real quick and give you a little insight into why they're necessary and how it's not just a cash grab for all of the shops that do them. So this car was coated about a year ago. This is my car. It's very well maintained. I mean, I wash this thing weekly. If I go off-roading, it's washed immediately afterwards. I'm definitely one of those off-road guys that still likes my truck to look like a mall crawler. But that being said, it still needs an annual. So I wash it, but I'm a busy guy, just like you guys are busy also. So I'm sure when you wash your car, you want to get it done as quick as possible. You're just using some type of a car wash foaming soap or car wash soap. It strips off most of the dirt. Afterwards, you might use a detail spray, maybe even our detail spray Elevate to go over it and give it extra gloss and make it look nice. All of that is great, and all of that does work, and that's exactly what you should be doing, just like you've probably seen on our video of us showing you how to wash a car. Here is what's happening though. Every time you wash your car, you're getting off probably 95%, 98% of all the contaminants and dirt and all those things are actually coming off the car. The problem is that 5 or 2 or 3% of stuff that's left over that you really can't see with your eyeball. So even if you're looking at your car, it'll look great. And if you run your hand over it, it probably feels very smooth after you've done your wash. The problem is you've got microscopic little pieces of iron from brake dust, also from trains, rail dust, especially if you live in like the city of Long Beach or you live anywhere near the ports where a lot of trains are going in and out. We get a lot of rail dust around there. So all of those little bits of iron, they actually attach to the top of the coating. They're if you look at them under a microscope, they're very sharp little pieces of iron, and so they actually stick into the coating. So when you wash your car, you may get some of them off, but a lot of them are still left over, and looking at your car, you'll never see them. You'll also sometimes have a little bits of sap. This is a very common thing, especially depending on the time of year and how the winds are. Trees produce very fine sap that's on the leaves. When that sap starts getting wet and it gets airborne, it flies and it goes all over your car. And it's so fine, it almost looks like a metallic paint job on top of the car. So you may have a lot of it and be able to see it, or you may have so many fine little ones around the car you don't really notice. So the problem with that is, within a year or 2 or 3 of this constant buildup, the coating isn't going to be able to perform as well as it did when we first coated your car, because all these things are sticking to the top of the coating surface. So it doesn't allow it to be hydrophobic and pull up those super high and tight water beads. And when the water beads beat up like that, that's how it cleans the car. It pulls all that dirt into that water bead, then you blow it off or you rinse it off and all of that comes off. Well, when you have all these little microscopic, essentially speed bumps all over the top of the coating, those water beads don't perform like that. When they hit those speed bumps, they want to break apart. And so it's hindering your coating from kind of doing its self-cleaning that it's supposed to be able to do. And it's not your fault, and it's not our fault, and it's kind of just the world's fault. Things happen like this. It's just part of nature, and the more you park your car outside or you daily drive it, the more exposed it is to all these things. So when you bring it in for your annual service, it usually takes us a few hours to do these, and what we're doing is we wash the car just like you do, then we go a few steps further. Then we use some type of a decontaminant. Typically we'll use like a water spot remover. We'll try to get any of the hard water minerals, if you might have hard water at home, and like little do you know, it's kind of leaving deposits over your car every time you wash it. So we use a water spot remover, it strips a lot of those minerals off the top of the coating. After we're done with that, then we go over and we clay the top of the coating. So the clay is gonna remove all that iron and brake dust that we were talking about. Once we do that, we should have a very nice smooth surface. We'll do some water bead testing to make sure your coating is performing exactly how it should be, and as long as it is, we go ahead and put a Ceramic Pro Sport top coat, and if it's another ceramic coating company that you're going with, they would probably put some type of a top coat also, and then give the car back to you. So the reason that these are necessary is if we don't clean that off and it builds up for 3 or 5 years, your coating is going to look like it's not coated anymore. It's not going to perform like it used to. It's not going to bead that water the way it's supposed to, and then it's not going to give you the look that it's supposed to, and it's definitely going to make you cleaning the car much longer process. So it is definitely necessary. It's a good idea to do the annuals. Don't skip them. Money-wise, I mean, you got to understand these things are costing you somewhere between 15 and 20 bucks a month over a year if you're paying 200 bucks where you're going, or 250 depending on the size of your car, depending on the company you go to. It's worth the money. if your car wasn't coated, to maintain this kind of gloss and shine, especially on an off-road vehicle like this, I would have to wax this car every 2 weeks or so to keep it like this. And if I was paying someone to do that, it'd be very expensive. Instead, I ceramic coated it once, and then I washed the car by myself, and once a year it has an annual done for a couple $100. I think for this size car, probably $230. So for that $230 to have it basically renewed, refreshed, and given back to me, I think it's a bargain. But it's also a necessary thing. So I just wanted to touch on that. If you guys have any further questions, or if you saw anything in this video that you're like, wait, that doesn't make sense, let me know. I'd be happy to answer any questions. I hope everyone's having a great week, and we'll see you next Wednesday.